It's Sunday morning, and every decent man and woman is listening to Test Miles with Nick Miles on FM News 101 KXL. Buckle in.
Time to talk cars for the next 60 minutes on your weekly automotive experience. Of course, this is Test Miles. I'm Nick Miles. You're listening to America's automotive radio show. Keeping you connected to the automotive world, which we like to do. Locally created, nationally celebrated. What's going to be on this morning's show? Well, we're going to talk about some of the amazing cars we've been driving this week. We are going to talk to Joe Mosel. He is the Vice President of Development with AT&T, and he's going to tell us about their brand new studio in Atlanta. It's called Drive Studio. The top 5 cars that money can buy if money was no object. Roman Michael will be here to talk about that. Jerry Spahn, the head of communications for Rolls-Royce, is going to join us, along with their new chief, who is Pedro Mota. And Pedro will tell us all about what's going to happen at Rolls-Royce over the next year in his leadership, probably the premium luxury car company in the United States. Ryan with his Afterglow products and telling us what's happening as far as cleaning is concerned and giving you tips on making sure your car is shiny and ready for all those shows that you're going to take it to this summer. I've been driving the Jeep Grand Cherokee today. Headlights from the front all the way to the back. This vehicle has been beautifully redesigned a few years ago. It is a very wild ride if you take it off-road, but also an extremely comfortable ride if you take it on long road trips. One of the things that I like to honor Jeep for is the fact that they have done such an incredible job in the redesign of these vehicles, especially on the inside. And lots of tech coming into them now. Automatically the rain sensing wipers, the smart braking systems, all of those sort of hill descent controls, the off-roading. The 75th edition was one of the cars crowned in Mudfest recently, which is the Northwest Automotive Press Association's event where we test 27 vehicles on some of the muddiest conditions in the Northwest. Pretty much everywhere in the Northwest is muddy in April.
Does this still have the settings where you can set it to sand and mud and all that?
So it allows you to really set the car up for exactly what the conditions are on the road, and then the car will respond in different ways. And they're adding lots of new things like air suspension. They have solid engines like the 3.6 Pentastar V6, 295 horsepower, 8-speed automatic, paddle shifters in an SUV. I think it was about 18 months, 2 years ago, Sean and I got to drive the Hellcat style version, the SRT8, which were down in Vegas. I think we were in LA somewhere. We found some very quiet road, which was undeveloped.
Previously quiet.
Yeah, previously quiet road. It was one of those roads where they had started a development, so they basically just had all the cars sitting out. They had all the houses sort of concreted in, but nothing was built. And let's just say the neighborhood wasn't quite the same when we'd finished with that car there. You can get it in a 2-wheel drive. Goodness knows why you would do that. You 4-wheel drive or the Jeep all-wheel drive, absolutely fantastic. Up to 30 miles a gallon. What does it compete with? Off-road, pretty much nothing. On-road, Kia Sorento, Ford Edge, Honda Pilot, the Nissan Murano, and the Toyota Highlander. It comes in about 5 different editions. I really do like the 75th anniversary edition. Isn't it strange to think that Jeep have been around for 75 years?
No, I did not drive the first one.
Yes, you did. Lies.
He's too old to be in the Army.
Yeah.
You glossed over something quickly. Up to 30 miles per gallon.
Yeah.
Amazing.
For such a heavy, big, off-roady type vehicle. This is the Grand Cherokee we're talking about. Starts at around 30K, goes up to 50K, depending on what model that you want. So I would say big thumbs up for me. Jeep just hitting it out of the park, not just in North America, but all over the world. When I was in Italy at the Alfa Romeo headquarters, they have Jeeps everywhere, they've built these big sort of rock outcroppings, and they just park them there. So as people drive past, you see these Jeeps sort of hanging off the edge of these big rocks and stuff. And Europeans love it. They're starting to understand now why our culture is so fabulous in North America. Because we have things like Jeep.
And
what else do we have?
SRT Jeeps.
SRT Jeeps. And lots of other stuff that's really cool, much better than Europe too. All right, AT&T is heading up all the latest car tech. We've talked about it on the show before, connected cars, innovations. They have also formed a special drive studio in Atlanta. Here to explain exactly what Car Studio is the VP of Business for AT&T. Joe, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, and thank you for having me on the show.
No problem. All right. So I've watched the videos about your new facility, and it seems to be like the United Nations of car tech. Would that be a good explanation?
You know, I've never heard that term before, but I think I'm going to start using it. I like it.
It's where you're bringing every sort of car tech company together to try and work how they would cooperate in putting new technology into cars. So in your words, explain to us what the Drive Studio is from AT&T.
Sure. The Drive Studio is the first of its kind innovation center for the connected car. So what AT&T did is brought together all of the car companies that we are partnering with, which is 19 of the major global brands, and the ecosystem partners, the people who develop the hardware, and AT&T who brings the connections. And we're all working together to kind of solve the next wave of the connected car. I think what we're seeing today, whether you have a Tesla, a GM, an Audi, or a Ford, I think this is just the first generation. And I think a lot of the stuff that we're working on that's going to come into the car in the future is just going to be like night and day from what we're experiencing today. It's going to be technology in the car, but it's going to be brought to you safely. It's going to be brought to you where, you could still, pay attention to the road and not get distracted by it. But
so what are some of the companies that you'll be working with at the studio?
Yeah, so some of the companies that we're working with in the studios, besides the automotive companies that I listed before, we have hardware companies such as Ericsson and Qualcomm and iHeartRadio, even entertainment type companies. So we kind of have a mix of all the ecosystem to make sure that, we're bringing in stuff that is for, not only for the automotive companies, but also for the consumers of what they want to experience in the car, how they could bring their smartphones and their tablet experience into the vehicle safely.
I watched a video of some of the things that you guys are working on, and the one that impressed me most, usually it impresses me that finding the nearest coffee shop, but what it impressed me most was the car told, in the video, the car told the driver, hey, your front indicator light had gone out, and I found your local garage, and they have an appointment at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Would you like me to book it in for you? And that sort of thing... so the car finds a fault, it knows what the fault is, it calls the garage or it contacts the garage via computer, finds the space that fits in with your calendar. I mean, will we actually have to do anything apart from put food in our mouths and watch TV at some point in our lives?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, from just the ease of your life, whether it's making that service appointment like you just described, or whether it's interacting with your connected home. I mean, we also do a demonstration where, whether you have home automation, where the car knows that you broke through a geofence that says, okay, make sure your house is going into closed mode, doors are locked, air conditioner is brought down, and then when you go through it the opposite way, make sure that, the house starts lighting up, the air conditioner raises. It's just going to be fascinating how the car is going to be able to communicate and make your whole life easier.
Is it going to be able to tell me when my kids are having a party at my house when I'm out of town?
Actually, that's funny is that, through our AT&T Digital Life, you get cameras inside your house, so you're able to kind of look remotely what's going on in your house. Whether you'd get the proactive alert or not, probably not, but you'd be able to check in and see how the party's going at least.
The most troubling thing, Joe, about that statement is his kids are 7-year-old twins, and so if they're partying when
I'm just planning ahead.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, wow,
they are my children.
7-year-old twins found the keys to the party cabinet. We are in trouble. I know that you've already been working with a lot of manufacturers, and AT&T have a lot of devices on the market already that you can plug directly into your car. You work with Audi on their connected car and those sort of things. Is this a big dream for 25 years down the road, Joe? We're looking at this more, the results of this coming out more quickly than that.
Well, I think that you're going to start seeing, you figure that the Audi A3 was the first LTE car on the road. GM quickly followed it with their full lineup. I think that having technology in the car is here. It's here today. It's in a lot of models. You're going to hear a lot of announcements coming further where all the new model of cars are going to have this technology. We did a research with Ericsson that basically said 3 out of 4 consumers are making the technology a decision of choice of which vehicles they're purchasing. It's becoming just as important as some of the performance items that you mentioned in the car on the Jeep Cherokee above. So
Yeah.
I think it's here to stay. I think it's going to change drastically in the next couple years, and it's going to get even more so. I would say in the next 25 years, it's going to be stuff that me and you could never even dream about what we're going to be able to have the car do for us.
I would also, just before we get some information about how we can find out more, like to offer you my car and my house for a testing if you ever feel like you need to do that, Joe. Just call me up and you can install all this stuff in my car because it really fascinates me. How do we find out more about your new Drive Studio?
Okay, so easily you can find out more about the AT&T Drive Studio. You could go to our website at AT&T.com. You could visit one of our company-owned retail stores that are located locally across the country. And we're going to continue to make announcements. There's YouTube videos. There's a lot of different ways. We're going to do a digital ad campaign to talk about the importance and the value of having a mobile hotspot in your car. It's told from a child's perspective.
Joe, I want to thank you for giving up your Sunday morning. So many cool things to come on AT&T. It looks like these guys have their finger on the button. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to actually tour that facility. Coming up next, Roman Micah's going to be on the phone from the Fast Lane Car talking about the world's most expensive cars. That's next on Test Miles. I'm Nick Miles.